Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Be Infinite podcast, formerly known as the Business Minds podcast. Just like you guys, we are forever growing, and we wanted to put more of an emphasis on our main company. So we're now the Be Infinite podcast, even though our intro is going to say the Business Minds podcast, but it's cool. Entrepreneurship is all about that. But today we have a great show. We're going to be talking to my main man, Kameron Conley. He's the co-owner of rebornconsultants.com, and we're going to be discussing the future of SEO for all y'all that need to know about SEO and implement it in your business. So stay tuned. Hey, okay, we're back once again. And I'm gonna bring on my main man Cameron, and we're gonna just talk, man. Hey Cam, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for joining me on the Be Infinite podcast. Thank you for this opportunity, man. Tell us our viewers a little bit about who you are and how you serve them before we get into the topic.
Absolutely. So I got it right here, Reborn Consultants. We got a little merch, but we're a digital marketing agency. Our slogan is breathing new life into business through digital marketing. And so we believe in helping companies where they are right now and where they need to go through websites, SEO, consulting, and digital marketing. So yeah, it's just a little bit about us. We've been around for 3 years and been growing constantly, doubling every year, and just helping tons of different clients out. Like I said, it's not about, what specific niche you are. It's about, are you willing to grow and are you willing to adapt? And that's who we work with.
Oh man, that's great. It's crazy because a lot of people, whenever I deal with entrepreneurs, they're always so worried about what their competition doing, their competitors are doing. And I tell them, most of the time, your competitor is yourself, right? It's like that's who you should be going up against. And
Absolutely.
Our companies do a lot of the similar things. Now we are more focused on our software and platform, and you're focused more on the SEO. But a lot of times, people be like, Chris, why would you have another digital agency on your podcast? It doesn't logically make sense. But from what I've learned over my 10 years of doing this, man, I have an abundance mindset. Then there's more than enough for us to coexist, man, and learn from each other. And you actually helped me with that a lot more, man. Tell everybody a little bit about how we met before we get into it. It's amazing.
So what I do is I was going through my LinkedIn. I've been doing this for the last 4 months now. Is I've been going through every single person that I have, and I've been sending them messages, following up with them, and trying to get to know them. Because for me, having those relationships are key. And so I've created a ton of relationships through doing that. And so Chris, I was like, hey, we should chat. And sometimes initially the way I am, I'm very upfront, I'm very honest, I'm very, sincere. And I just want to be, not, talk about anything that's not purposeful. And so I was like, hey, like we do the same thing, but the thing is we can work together and there's always a way to help each other out. And I feel like sometimes we get stuck behind our computers, right? We get stuck. What do we do? Or what are we going to do next? What is this? What is that? We're focused on processes, our employees, whatever. But in reality, when you just take a second to look up and ask, hey, what are you doing? What are some of the things? You can learn so much. And so that's how we met, Chris. And like I said, it's just been awesome to get to know you and knowing what your business is doing.
Man, and I want to just emphasize that you came out of nowhere just for a conversation. And that is so unique. A lot of you entrepreneurs, y'all need to realize that all the sales techniques you can learn and all that. My man Cam just came, out of nowhere and just said, I just want to talk to you and meet. And that is so unique as far as entrepreneurs and business owners are always looking for like that edge, right? They're always looking for something they could do different. They're not even realizing, man, what is something I can just do? What is something I can do just to outreach? And that was really cool. I've never experienced that. And even, especially on LinkedIn, because I'm going to tell you, man, I get hit with so
many.
Man, so many just invites and they're all looking to sell. And I do, do this, do this. Now they've switched it up a little bit and they kind of send me an article first or whatever. But I mean, even that second follow up is just sell, 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 sell. And there's no real relationship, and you get hit with so many of those. You start, it's like your phone nowadays. And you have that spam blocker on your phone.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've probably missed so many calls now because my spam blocker is labeling everything as spam, and that's kind of how I got with my mentality with LinkedIn. Oh, somebody messaged me. I don't even want to check it because I already know what it's about. But that's why it's so unique what you did and what you said as far as reaching out to everybody personally. Most of those are bots, and there's nothing wrong with bots to save you time and stuff. We work on automation, but it's just like the personal touch is always going to go a lot further into building relationship, because that's what we're ultimately trying to do. And I think sometimes we miss that. But you brought that back to the fold. So that's kind of what I wanted everybody to know, man. You just came out of nowhere. We do the same thing. It was really cool. I thought it was really cool and unique to go back to how relationships originally started, right? So building relationships. So that was pretty cool, man. And you're real.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're. I like I said, I stressed it before, but no, Cam, man. Okay, cool, man. You focus on SEO. What is SEO and why is it important before we even go to the future of it?
Yeah, so SEO stands for search engine optimization, right? And I think a million of us have been hit up by an SEO agency saying, hey, I could better help you. I can make you more money. I could do this. I could do that. And it got us frustrated, right? Because like 90% of SEO agencies say they do these things and everyone's like, oh, I do this, I do that. And in reality, as having these conversations, Chris, it was, having these frank conversations with other people on LinkedIn. I'm like, what do you do with LinkedIn? Or, what do you do with SEO in LinkedIn? Or how are you affecting people and how are you helping people? And a lot of them were like, oh, we just do one portion of it. We just do a little section. We just do this. We just do that. And I'm like, so how can you say you do that? And they're like, well, it still helps them. And I'm like, okay, but what are you doing for the next step and the next step? And so I think the difference between like what we do and what others do is like, I'm in this for the mid to long-term game, right? To get you to where you want to go and where you need to go. And I think that's the difference. How you're talking about me earlier, like reaching out and you're like, hey, that's really cool. For me, it's like you were saying, competitors. For me, I don't look at my competitors. I talk to my competitors. I talk to people who are in my space out here in Utah. I talk to another 20 owners and I'm like, what are you doing? What are some changes? Hey, what are you doing with your proposals? Can you send me a little bit about what you're doing with your processes? And some people are like, no, leave me alone. And some people are like, absolutely. And they'll just give it because it's like, all we're trying to do is grow and learn. And so going back to it, SEO is just search engine optimization to be able to be more visible online through organic search.
Yes. And organic, when we used to focus on SEO too before we migrated to branding, the foundation. And I used to always tell people, man, you got to have at least a budget for at least give me 9 months, to really see the effects of SEO, because it is organic, right? It's organic, but it's truly the difference between that and, paid ads is that now people are actually searching for what you serve, what you offer, and we're helping them organically get in front of them versus just an ad that they have no relationship and you might follow them or whatever. But SEO, I believe that it can truly help a lot of people, especially these local people who really need to make an impact in their local community. Can you talk about some of the factors? And there's loads of factors that go into SEO. Can you talk about some of the factors that people need to know, because so they won't think it's just like some simple service that they sign up for?
Yeah. So, I'll put it into 3 specific categories. We have on-site, technical, and your website, right?
Okay.
And so on-site being things like your meta description, your content that you have on your website, right? We need to have good content to be able to attract these people when they're typing in, dentist in Dallas, Texas, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the technical side of things, which is your site speed. It's also some of the factors of your backlinks, right? Having a good reputation, having good backlinks, and making sure that your URL structure is good, making sure that it doesn't read super hard, doesn't have a ton of numbers and random, nonsense in there. And then the last sense would be your website, right? Making sure that, and just like as you stated earlier with like the quote, I say it all the time on every phone call and every conversation, image and perception is what we give to the community, and respect and commitment is what we give to each other. And with that being said, it's like the image is your website, the image is your Google business profile, the image is your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, all these different social media platforms. And if your image looks good, most of the time people can feel a sense of, oh, I feel comfortable with this person, I can trust this
Yes.
person. And so those are the three pillars. And then within each of those pillars, there's 30 to 40, 50 different things that you need to fix. There's 404 errors, and sometimes there's all attributes, and sometimes there's duplicate meta descriptions, duplicate content, no meta description. And so it is complex, and that's just the starting point. Then you want to, like I said, look through your content, make sure that your content's good. You want to look through your security, make sure your securities look good. And this is what I think people misunderstand, and people sell to people, like you said, to local businesses specifically. Hey, look, your business is ranked #1. If I don't type in my business and it's not ranked #1, I'm like, what? Like that's a simple core foundation. I should be able to type in Reborn Consultants and we should be showing up #1, versus what we're trying to do is get them to attract them via what they're going after, right? What they're trying to accomplish, what services they provide. Because when they start ranking for those things, they're going to get more sales. They're going to get more eyeballs on their business. They're going to get more traction, which then in turn gives them reviews, which in turn gives them more business, which in turn makes their business stay around for a while, right? The mid to long-term strategy.
Man, yes. And all those factors is why people need an expert like you, to do this SEO, so they can focus on being that dentist in Dallas. So when they're doing the SEO and they're organically bringing in, you can stay true to what you are. I've met people over the years that, you say I do something. Oh, I do that too. Or I learned this. I was like, but you're a painter, like, why don't you focus on being the best painter you can be, because SEO is a whole nother beast that you have to be consistent to. Like I said earlier, 9 months, man. We have to say, man, you got to be in this for 9 months. Set that SEO budget apart, because you're trying to grow organically, and there's so much competition as well. But now, what is interesting too about SEO too, a lot of people don't realize that you actually rank every page too. So if you're putting in Dennis in Dallas and their services page is ranked real good, that page would come up versus their home page, correct? So they need to be ranking all the pages, which is a whole nother thing in itself, right?
No, absolutely. I think a lot of the times people don't understand, and I want to go back to what you do, because what you do provides them help to getting SEO. No. So let's talk about that. Like it's hard. Branding's hard. It's not something that's easy. And so if you don't understand your business, like you don't understand what people are searching for. So for instance, if you are a dentist, you know that there's people who just do like orthodontics, and there's just people who do emergency surgery. There's people who do just kids, right? And so with that being said, you have to know what you're good at. And so when you brand a website or you're creating the content for a website, you have to put these things in there that you want to rank for on those homepages. And when you're ranking those sub pages, you want to make sure you put those sub sections that you want to put, right? Cavities, tooth fillings, braces, these kind of things. And, either in Dallas, or if you're just like, hey, I want to rank for it, in a bigger, broader area in Texas. So I think a lot of the times people don't understand that what you're putting on your website is affecting you. Google reads through it, and it doesn't read it as a human being, right? It has no emotions. It scans through and it says, oh, it doesn't have this, skip, next. And that's why I don't think people understand. And that's why SEO is so vast and can be frustrating, because Google's adapting, they're changing algorithms, and us as professionals sometimes don't know what happened on that thing that just dropped a day ago, a week ago. So you're learning, okay. And this is why, like I said, I think strategy is the key word. We're strategizing to make you more visible so that you can in turn get more traffic and more eyeballs and more sales. And I think people are like, can't you guarantee me things? And it's like, nothing's guaranteed in this world, right? We
No,
talked about that
nothing.
last time.
And SEO is a part of marketing, which is a part marketing and digital marketing and SEO. And marketing as a whole is, lack of a better word, a crapshoot. Like you're out there now. You can have a strategy, you can have a plan, but you have to realize that can shift. Like the wind, because of stuff like what you said. A lot of the SEO is based on Google and what they deem is important to label you as that industry expert, because they want the best companies at the top when you search for something. So those factors all factor into that information. And thank you for bringing up branding, because that is very important, because a lot of people they think they know what they do, and they think they know who their ideal client is. But a lot of times I say, hey, let's start off with what you think you know, right? And then let's put a plan together, and then let's come back and revisit that plan about 3 to 6 months, and the numbers that tell us who we need to, because the numbers aren't going to lie to us. The numbers will tell us who we need to offer, where our leads are really coming from. And a lot of that has to be that organic SEO. So strategy is by far, and a lot of small businesses, man, I think they believe that when you say strategy and SEO and 9-month budget, and they're thinking about dollar signs versus thinking about value. What is this going to bring back to me versus, I've already spent this much on this. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the big companies aren't thinking like that. Now they do have more budget, but we need to realize that we can use the same strategy, analytics that they do, but on a smaller scale. And they don't realize they have those tools available. And that's why I had to have my boy Cam on here to kind of go over SEO and get the basis. So we got the basis. So what does it look like going forward? Are we going to start including, I know social media has been a big part of it. How important is having a good social following, good social content to SEO nowadays?
So it's always been important, right? It goes hand in hand. And like you said, a lot of these small businesses think like, I'm going to put all my eggs in a basket and see if it works, and then I'll try the next thing. And so one thing I want to go back to is like, I think it's hard because, like you said, all they equate is, did you give us more money? Did you get us more this? And it's like, well, you're not looking at the other factors. You have gotten more people to know who you are from your brand and what we've done with SEO than you have in the last little while. Or you'll ask them, hey, are you tracking on social media? And they're not tracking. They're just like, oh, well, I don't know how many followers I've gained. I don't know how many likes I have. It's like, I'm like, yeah, but you need to see that in a simple visual form. So going back to what you're saying, what's like a huge thing that's happening? I think SEO is going to be huge because they started talking about getting rid of cookies, right? In 2023, like cookies for websites. And so that takes information and gives it back to the PPC people to then be able to remarket and retarget. You just talked a little bit about, I'm thinking about buyer persona, right? What the type of client is. And so you get to see that through Google Analytics. You get to see that through Google Search Console, but it has to be a lot of information. When you have little information, they don't give you everything. You don't know everything. So now you have to look back at your sales and the type of client you've had. How old are they? What area are they in? Stuff like that. So one big thing that's happening, or the transition and change, I would say, is great user experience, which has been big, but it's still huge. PPC is going to get a little bit more expensive coming in to the future. And so all that means is, why not utilize your organic? Because when people find you organically, it's a better sale. You convert more. And it helps clients, like I said, to feel like they understand and know you. So I think those are the big things. And the last thing that you touched on is like small versus big clients. I think a lot of the times small clients don't have the processes in place that you need. Like they don't understand, hey, like what is the customer lifetime value? They don't understand how are they going to get the next sale. They're just like, hey, it's nothing against, I'm from Vegas. So like, it's the broke man mentality and the hustle mentality where it's just like, I made $50 today. How do I sell one more thing to make another $20 and another $30? When it's just like, okay, what are we playing? Because now all we're doing is we're running our heads back and forth to try to get one sale. It's like, we have to think about the future. And I think that's that's something that as small business owners, even myself sometimes, right? And yourself, it's you get stuck in the minutia, you get stuck, and you need to look up and be
Yeah.
an owner, be a figure in your community, which you've done great, Chris. And that's something that, I'm like, wow, I need to start working on that because I'm not in my community as much as I should be. And I'm like, hey, I need to improve on that. So that's a little bit of like all the answers combined.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, but man, that's crazy. You added in there about PBC, and I didn't even know that. Like, this is why you're the expert in that. But I can see that because now we're gonna have to spend more to get that information, and
Exactly.
versus now we have great analytics, and that information is a little more ready. But wow, okay, we're not gonna be able to track as good. That's interesting. And that's why a lot of the times small business owners, I know I talk to them all the time, and everybody wants to kind of like, they don't realize they're kind of like on an island. Like, everything is always dependent on me. So I have to do it my way. I have to be more control versus it doesn't have to be like that. Because, man, you hit the nail on the head when you said it's time for us to be business owners. I might even retire the word entrepreneurs. I think we need to be business owners because business owners know how to delegate. They understand they need to hire smart people to tell them what to do, not tell them what to do. That's Bill Gates. Bill Gates said that, said I hire smart people for them to tell me what to do, versus me tell them what to do. And a lot of the times we get in that from small business owners because there is a lot you put into it. So your trust is thin, right? Especially if you get burnt with those SEO guys, like you said. There's so many, man. And just to go back to that, I get hit with so many emails saying I can do your website, redesign your SEO. It's like, have you even seen what we do? What do we do? And a lot of them come from Gmail. So it's like, you don't even have a professional email. How are you going to sell me SEO and website services? But anyway, so yeah, small business owners, we need to rely on each other and trust each other more, and just go out into that, because SEO is SEO, marketing, all these things that can truly help you. And me and you have been privy to the help. It's going to take experts to do it. But yeah, man,
yeah. So I think you're absolutely right. I get hit up all the time about, hey, do you want me to do your SEO? Do you want me to do your website? And they don't even look at my profile. They don't even know what we do. They don't even want to know what offers. And I've even responded back, and they don't respond back. I'm like, hey, I'd love to learn about your services. Tell me more. I'd love to get on a phone call. No, I have, and no response. And I'm like, so you're sending me a cold email chain that's taking you time, effort, and energy, and you're not going to give it back. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm willing to have a conversation to get to know, maybe there's something you have that I don't know, right? I'm always going to be a student for the rest of my life. And I live by that, right? I can never learn enough, and I can never know enough, but guess what? I'm going to do my best to be the best at what I do. So I think, going back to one thing you said is about the island. I think that's interesting. So my business partner, his name's Ryland Shank, and he talks about, there's 7 billion people and 7 billion worlds on Earth, right? And we all think that our world is the most valuable, the most important, the most, right? And we get stuck in that. And he undid that to be like, you know what? If you just, like I said, take a second and understand some things about what this owner is doing and what they're trying to accomplish. Like you said, I would love to say that like we're amazing salespeople, but it's like, that's not what we do. We create relationships. And like you said, if I send a cold email, it's a lot harder to make a relationship than just going on LinkedIn or meeting somebody in person, like, at a store, and be like, what do you do? Hey, what do you do? Do you have a family member that does this? Hey, and just getting to know some people, because I've made more valuable connections by walking into a business and getting to know the person next to me than I have trying to cold email or trying to be like, please buy my service. It's like, it doesn't work as effective, but people still like it. People still get sold. Like,
they do.
Like, so anyways.
I'm not downing it. That's what my platform does. We send out emails and automation too. But I'm just saying, from the standpoint of kind of, what you're saying in that email, like you said about the follow-up, they spent time to do that. They didn't follow up with you. So you're less inclined to, you're totally declined to do business with them. And they don't even realize that they could have learned something, versus just their mindset off top was going for a sale versus let me build a relationship. You go into it different. Your wording is different. Your approach is different. And that's what I liked about you and the way you approached me on LinkedIn, man. And you got right back to me and we just set something up, started talking. And that's where this came. And I'm pretty sure this is a foundation for the future, man. We're going to be together for a long time. I can't wait to meet your partner as well. But I'm just saying that approach and what SEO does, it piggybacks on all that. It's the organic approach versus ads. Now, ads are good too, but that organic client is already looking for what you want. They're looking, you're local, they already have those two as connection. Now it's more of it's the closest thing we have to when you pass a referral to somebody, right? Digitally.
Mm-hmm.
They're searching. So, but no, man, thank you for your commentary on, the future. That prices of a PPC, that really hit me. I've been thinking about that ever since now, because I didn't know they were going to get rid of the the cookies on the website. Cause that was a big thing. You got to have that to let people know you're tracking them. Right.
So I mean, I think this goes into the segue of like tracking. Like, I think a lot of the times people don't understand that it's not just like, don't get me wrong, hooking up Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and having your Google Business Profile like a must, right? We got those three things, but you got Google Tag Manager to tag things. You have Google Analytics changing to GA4 and making it a little bit easier and to see, understand what's going on. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, they think we talk about value. They don't understand if I hook that up once, I'm going to get a lot of information from this. And I know where people click and I know where people are going. I know what articles they are on. I know how long they spent on that article. And that information is so valuable. And it goes into, and again, we do it, right? We have content writers who are all awesome and they're all people. We don't use any AI. And like I said, I love having an individual approach. But when you do the branding and you're like, hey, what's the tone of this person? Like, what does this company want to convey? A restaurant is completely different than an insurance agency, which is completely different than a digital marketing agency. And a lot of times people think, oh, I'm just going to create some content and cool, there it goes. And it's like, that's not how you should be thinking. You have to think about what is the intent, which is there's 4 intents Google's created, right? Informational, navigational, commercial, and transactional. And what does this keyword fit? Where does it fit in one of these 4 categories? So when you're writing, you can be a little bit more intentional with the intent of the article. So you could be like, okay, how am I going to write to these people? Who are they? And what are they doing? And I think that's like, then you get into the nitty gritty. We talk about, like, you tell me a little bit more about it. It's like, there's always another little step, another little thing to know, another little thing to learn, so that you can create, perfect, and get better at the craft so that you can increase these clients.
Man, that I love how you put that information out there, because it segues into what we were talking about here at our company. On the podcast, we want to send out a challenge. And I think what you just said was a perfect challenge that segues into everything we're talking about, because we're talking about, let's be honest, stuff that is above some most business owners' head, as far as knowing it enough to really know it. Now they know it to understand, but we would challenge people to be more intentional, because that is so true on social media. When you put out content, your ideal client, people kind of think they can just wing stuff, and then they're looking around and like, oh, Facebook doesn't work, or social media doesn't work, SEO doesn't work. Well, what was your goal going in? Oh, I didn't have a goal. I said, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be intentional. So I want to challenge our audience to be intentional in everything you do. And sometimes being intentional means saying, hey, I don't know where to do. Let me reach out to Reborn Consultants to do my SEO, because they do, and they care, and they're going to be more intentional in areas that they're expert in. So I can be intentional in the areas I'm an expert in. So that's so true, man. I love how you broke that down as far as gathering that information. Man, Cam, me and you can sit here and talk forever, man. But I love that you reached out to me. I love that you're willing to be on our podcast. And I want to do a lot more things with you and your partner and your agency. I know you guys are growing every year, and I'm so proud of you. Nobody else said it. We don't
Thank you.
congratulate each other enough. Yeah, man, I'm dead serious, man. 3 years in the game. Most businesses don't last 2 years or 1 year, I think it is. It's hard out here. So I congratulate you on that, and congratulate you on being a student. Continue to grow, continue to learn, because you've taught me stuff in our little time we spent together, man. But man, this has been a great show. Let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to know more from information and get do you do like a free consultation or something?
Yeah, absolutely. We do free consultations. So what we do is we do a free audit of your website, where it's at. You can email us at info@rebornseo.com. You can, contact me directly at Kameron at rebornconsultants.com. We love looking at a business and just saying, hey, here's where you're at and here's where you need to get to go. Because I feel like that's our bread and butter. We love getting to know, and maybe if it's not a perfect fit, we're okay to say, you're not at that point. I got you. I'm going to get you to where you need to go. And so I care about everyone that we have the conversations with. They're not just another number. Like, I'm talking to somebody else that wants their business to grow.
Okay, man, that's great, man. Y'all reach out to my brother. He knows his SEO. Like you say, he's always learning, always changing the game. He's going to make sure your SEO, your company is up front to where it needs to be, man. Thank you for being on the show, man. We're going to definitely follow up. And like I said, we got more things to come with our brands and our businesses, Cam. And next time, have your partner on here, man. Let's put both of y'all on here.
Deal. We'll get on here. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank y'all, man. Y'all have a great day. And until next time, be infinite.